Hi, welcome to this issue of Between the Bags and Boards. I'm Kurt.
And I'm Matt. And in this issue we're going to be reviewing Green Lantern number 14. The issue takes place as part of the Rise of the Third Army Green Lantern event. The writer for the issue is Geoff Johns, and Doug Mahnke is the artist. So the issue picks up right where the last one left off. Our new Green Lantern, Simon Baz, is being confronted by the Justice League after escaping from federal custody. He has been accused of being a terrorist after being caught in a stolen car with a bomb in it. Simon admits that there's no point in fighting the League since he is far outclassed in terms of power. However, he attempts to convince them that he is not a terrorist. To prove to them that he is innocent, he agrees to submit to Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. Batman asks that he first disarm by taking off the ring. Simon agrees, but there is some sort of feedback when he attempts to take off the ring. An image of Sinestro appears and yells not to touch the ring. The Justice League mistakes this for an attack and prepares to forcefully apprehend him. At this point, Simon decides to flee and creates a car to drive away. He hasn't been able to master the ability to fly yet, so he has to create a car. The Flash and Superman begin to chase him down. While running alongside his car, Flash tries to talk him down. He tells them that there's no point in running and that he can't beat the League. However, it turns out that Simon has tricked the Flash and Superman by creating multiple car constructs without him inside it. They were chasing empty constructs. Simon then meets up with a friend who gives him a tip on the bomb maker who set him up. Simon then thanks her and says that he will use his new power to set things right. At the same time, we also see what the Guardians of the Galaxy are up to. They seem pleased that they have taken care of Hal and Sinestro when the Third Army consumed them. The Guardians also point out that there still are others that they need to take care of, especially Earth Lanterns Guy Gardner, John Stewart, and Kyle Rayner. The Red Lanterns are still another barrier to the Third Army, eliminating free will in the galaxy. They explain their plan to the mysterious First Lantern. The Guardians say that they need his power. The First Lantern responds saying that when he escapes, the Guardians will be the first one he kills. We also get to see what happened to the other group of Owens who were tasked to guard the First Lantern in the Chamber of Shadows in hidden space. They are now prisoners after the Guardians defeated them and locked them up in the Chamber of Shadows. Their leader, Regal, is dead. However, we see that the Black Hand arrives and orders him to rise. Elsewhere, we see Hal and Sinestro in some mysterious dark place. We as the reader have no idea where they are, but a strange figure calls out to Sinestro and tells him that it's time to pay for his crimes. So I thought this was a great issue. I want to know what you think, especially about the Justice League kind of showing up.
Yeah, I like the issue in general. I always like when the Justice League shows up because I like big universes, and every time there's a reminder there's a big universe, a lot of different moving parts. It's always good. But what do you think about Green Lantern, this one in particular, with the Justice League?
I thought there was a really funny line where Green Lantern is basically saying, I can't fight you guys because you'll just destroy my... But I could probably be Batman, which is definitely a Green Lantern thing to say, just since Hal and Batman always seem to have this rivalry, kind of light versus dark.
I also liked Flash's line in there where he says, I hope the Green Lantern that died was, what was his name?
Oh, Guy Gardner.
Guy Gardner, yeah. I thought that was a great line to throw in.
That's true. I'm sure, any reader out there, if they want one Green Lantern to die, it's gotta be Guy.
One thing I don't like about this new Green Lantern is his costume. I don't like it at all, to be honest, like the mask.
Well, I don't think the costume is that great either, but at the same time, every Earth Green Lantern always has their own distinct costume. Guy Gardner's got his kind of collared jacket, John Stewart has the most traditional form of uniform, and Kyle's he's gone through multiple costume changes. And he always kind of has his own unique mask, which is very cool. But yeah, I agree that this costume
yeah,
isn't
I think they
great.
can do something more. And I did find it interesting that he doesn't know how to fly, but he can make all these cars. That was kind of...
Well, that kind of leads me to my next question. How do you think he stacks up as a Green Lantern?
Well, I think there's a lot more we can learn about him, and I think we can make that judgment later on. But right now, the fact that he can't fly sort of leads me to believe he's not really that great yet.
But at the same time, I feel like he deserves a lot of credit because he was able to trick the Justice League and create multiple constructs. That takes some serious skill.
Okay, but he was able to trick them. He wasn't able to fight them in any way. He was able to trick them.
But
I don't know.
Hal Jordan would, I think, have trouble fighting the entire Justice League.
I don't know. Maybe we'll get to see that later on. But what do you think about the mysterious figure at the very end? Do you have any ideas of who that could be?
I mean, I can't be certain, but right now I'm going to speculate saying it's Abin Sur, because he recognized Sinestro, and I think this could just be a cool way in the New 52 they give him a new origin story. Abin Sur, a new origin story. But I guess we'll have to see. Going to the overall Rise of the Third Army storyline, what do you think of the Guardians' plan to eliminate free will from the galaxy?
Well, if you put it like that, it seems like a terrible idea. But you know, they have good intentions. They're trying to create peace in the whole universe, just in the galaxy, because it's like a hive mind, right? Almost, in that everyone is controlled by the same...
Without free will, though, can you even call it life? I mean...
Well, that was up for debate, right? They bring up that topic of souls, and that's always up for debate, too. How do we know we have a soul?
Everyone should just become these mindless, zombie-like
I'm not saying that
Third Army.
I'm not saying that people shouldn't fight to have their free will, but I'm saying that the Guardians are just trying to make everything peaceful.
Just like the Manhunters were supposed to, solve crime in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And that worked out so well, so...
They had the right intention. They're not bad guys, they're misunderstood. Alright, but what would you give this comic grade?
I would give this issue a 4. I really liked how there was a lot of different storylines going on. We had the Simon Boz story, we had the Guardians story, we had the Black Hand story, and we also had the Hal and Sinestro story. So there's a lot of different threads all in one issue, which I really like.
I'd give this one a 3.5 because I'm not fully on board with this new Green Lantern yet. Maybe he'll impress me later on.
Alright everybody, thanks for watching our video. Keep an eye open. We'll be releasing more videos later in the week. And check our Twitter and feel free to email us with your own questions and comments. And links are in the description below. Thanks!